Hi there, April Spalding with Keller Williams Real Estate Smart One in Winter Haven, Florida. And I am excited because I want you to meet my team. Not only do you know about me, but I want you to meet them. And it's not just my transaction coordinator, but also just real estate professionals to not only help you through a real estate transaction, but maybe just a life event that you're going through, or even something as simple as power washing your house. The first woman I would like you to meet, her name is Denise Tessier of Tessier Law Firm. She's an estate planner and she is wonderful. She not only knows estate planning, but she also knows what our community is about. She is out and about all the time, and she has her two dogs, which is something we're going to talk about today. So I'd like to introduce you to Denise. She's going to talk about some dog tips and tricks when living in Florida, or if you plan on moving to Florida. So enjoy. Hello everyone. I am here with Miss Denise Tessier of Tessier Law Firm, and we are at the beautiful Lake Ashton, a 55 and over community in Lake Wales and Winter Haven. And Denise actually lives here. And how do you love living here?
It has been fantastic. My husband's retired, so he has activities to keep him busy all the day while I'm still working. And, you know, we've been making lots and lots of friends, which has been fantastic in these COVID times. We've been able to socialize outside on the golf course and the dog parks, and it's been really lovely. So everybody come on down. I never thought I would be living here after living in Massachusetts for so many years, but now I am sold. Things that I really wanted to stress to your folks that are moving from different areas like Florida or Minnesota, you know, some of the northern states that are pretty cold, is it gets hot in Florida. And I think everybody kind of knows that, and that's why they move here, because you don't have to shovel sunshine. But when you're bringing your pets down, there's a lot of things to really think about, and it's something that we had moved down from Florida with two very active Brittany Spaniels that are hunting breeds and need to run off leash a lot. So, you know, we were very concerned when we moved here about where are we going to take them, because a lot of areas don't have that wide open space that they can go safely. The first thing that we really had to deal with was the heat, because our dogs run and get very hot. If you have larger pets or even smaller dogs that need to be let outside quite frequently, you want to make sure that you are well prepared all the time, not only to hydrate yourself, but to hydrate your pets. Make sure that if they have to be in the car for any length of time, that you're not leaving them when you go into Publix or Aldi's, and that if you're taking them into the park, that you bring like a Yeti or an insulated water bottle that has ice in it so that they can cool down quickly. Now, a lot of people here, I found out, buy those little booties that they use for dogs in the snow. I was wondering why they were selling those at Aldi's, but it turns out that the pavement here can get up to 120 degrees sometimes in the summertime, and it's very, very quick for paws to burn, and the dog won't really tell you that it's hurting until you get home and it's not walking anymore. So that's very important to think about if you've got somebody that you're walking on the driveways or on the pavement on a regular basis around your house. And think of foot protection, and there's certain lotions and things that you can use as well, just as you would in the snow and in the salt up north. The other thing to think about too is maybe getting the dog a cooling vest. We've bought our dogs cooling vests off of eBay or Amazon that you can either put in the refrigerator, or some of them you just wet and it takes their body heat up and cools their belly so that it keeps their temperature down, and that is really important for health and safety. And know that if you do happen to have a dog in the car for any length of time, a police officer or a sheriff can come and break the window to let them out. So sometimes people are keeping an eye out. If you have your pets in the car, it's a good thing, but you should know that it is an issue here in Florida, and people take it very seriously.
Now, I know we're in the dog park at Lake Ashton. Is there anything else you want to talk about the dog park? Or?
Well, I mean, one of the things is when you're moving down, you're definitely going to be able to find dog parks here, whether or not it's in your community or your town. You know, if your dog is going to be safe in Florida, it needs to be in a dog park or on leash. The dog parks generally here are somewhat smaller than what you would be used to in a northern state where they can just run in a very big area, but they can still move very quickly. They can chase balls, they can chase frisbees. So you want to look for a dog park that has a hose and water, and a lot of the cities and towns here do provide those in various areas. But if you can't find a dog park and you're going to be taking them on any of the Florida trails, you want to make sure to keep them leashed. And we found out the hard way that gators are a real thing. We did lose a dog to a gator, and it was the saddest thing ever. We were on a trail, and our dog had always been on voice control. So we now are just so paranoid. We are out there telling people a gator can come up to your dog at any point in time if you're near any body of water. Obviously, the lakes and ponds here are filled with gators, but the streams and small areas and wooded trails can house these types of animals because they migrate, especially in the summertime when it's mating season, and they can be in a small creek, even near some of the houses and very close to your home. So even if you're walking the dog in your backyard and you're near a body of water, make sure to always keep them on the leash, because if it's not gators, then it's snakes. We have a number of poisonous snakes and fire ants and other types of things you just don't want the dogs to getting into. And that's something that's a very hard adjustment for people that have been used to letting their fur babies just, do whatever they want and have the freedom. Here you got to deal with not having as much freedom unless you're buying a house that has a fenced in yard.
Yeah, that's very true about the freedom. I have ranch dogs, and bringing them to Florida, they
Something to
don't
think
like being
about.
on a leash too much, but the gators are a huge thing. Any body of water has a gator. You just
Yes.
got to think that any body of water in Florida could have a gator, so we don't let our dogs down by the lake.
Yeah, you just have to be super careful and don't think because they've never been near the water that it might not happen, because the gators can move fast when they want to. But, on a more positive note, Florida is great for dog beaches. We do have off-leash dog beaches on both coasts. Something like Flagler Beach near the Atlantic has waves, and there's a section of Flagler Beach where you can bring them and let them in the water. They have to be leashed on that beach, but there is an off-leash dog beach at St. Pete Beach in St. Pete,
Fort
Florida.
DeSoto.
Fort
Fort
DeSoto.
DeSoto.
Oh, it's
Yes.
the best because you can let your dog off leash in a sheltered area. There's not many waves because it's on the bay side, and there's a nice huge dog park that's nearby that has showers and different sprays. So we often take a road trip there to let our dogs out, and then we go hit all the breweries in St. Pete because there's tons of microbreweries in that area that are all dog friendly, and you can let them on the patio with you. And a good way to find out about these things is the bringfido.com. If you haven't been turned on to that, fantastic website, and it's very well maintained for Florida locations. Also, if you're going to be traveling with a pet, that's another thing that I wanted to talk about is, sometimes people come to Florida, they're planning on going on cruises and they're planning on traveling. Sometimes you can't rely on a friend or neighbor in your community when you might have moved away from your family. So what do you do with the dogs? If you're taking them with you, bringfido.com can really help find pet-friendly Airbnbs and vacation rental by owners and some nice spots. But if you need to have them stay at home while you're traveling, rover.com is the other resource that we found when we were here in Florida, because we lost all our support network and our babysitters, our fur babysitters, when we came here. So that'll probably be one of the first things you're going to want to do, is to get a reputable pet sitter from rover.com, somebody that's in your area. A lot of times they're college students, even veterinary students that love to have pets but can't have them full time. A lot of them will do house sitting in your house, or you can bring the dogs to their house. And all of those things are super important to get you ready to come down.
There's another aspect to your pets, and being that I don't have any children and my pets are my babies, what can I do? Like, say something happened to me. Say I got in a car accident on the way home. That's not going to happen, but say I got in a car accident on the way home. Can you talk about my state and where would my dogs go, and a little bit about that?
Well, that's really important for folks of all ages, but particularly retirees that may have health issues or maybe moving down, to have their final home, or even for people that are, helping their parents deal with situations, is to make sure to put the pets in the conversation when you're talking about estate planning, long-term care, and all of those types of issues that are, life-changing for you and your family. but also for your pets. Pets are not supposed to be an afterthought, but a lot of people think, oh, my daughter will take my dog, or my neighbor will take my dog, somebody will take the dog because they're so cute. Well, you know, Florida is one of the highest rates of euthanasia because a third of the folks that pass, they don't have anybody to take care of them, and people don't necessarily love your dog the way that you do, just as like sometimes they don't love your children like you do. You know, and it's a sad thing. So make sure that you've not only appointed a guardian for your pet in your estate planning documents, and have had that discussion with your kids if you're expecting them to take the dog or other pet, but you also want to make sure that you're planning for them financially, because pet care is expensive, and you wouldn't want it to be a situation where, you know, a friend or family member takes your pet and thinks that they're a burden because they're expensive to feed. Veterinarian expenses are quite high, and you know, what happens if the dog needs surgery? You know, are you going to let that person make the decision solely on finances, or would you like to have them have a little flexibility and freedom to know that you've given them some money in case there's an emergency surgery that's needed? They don't have to make that choice. They can automatically go and get that surgery, you know, provided the dog would otherwise be young and healthy. So there's a number of different factors that you can think about when you're actually doing your estate planning and your medical care planning for your pets. And enjoy Florida. Your pet will enjoy Florida. There's lots of smells, lots of other pet owners. Whether or not you have a small dog that stays in the house and comes with you everywhere as your companion, or a large dog that needs its exercise and its safe walks, then you know, you can find some place to do it in Florida, but it does take a lot more work than you might think. So get on it now before you move, or when you've just moved.
Well, I thank you so much for providing these amazing tips. And we are going to do, what did you want to call your new segment?
Oh, my TEP Talks, my Tessier Estate Planning Talks instead of TED Talks. We'll keep them short, keep them brief, and we'll keep them informative and helpful for you. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you have any tips and tricks for your dogs living here in Florida, please leave a comment below. We would love to hear them.